Hey, what is up guys? MKBHD here, and this is the iPhone 6. It's finally here. The iPhone 6 and 6 Plus came out at the same time, and I'll be covering the 6 Plus a little bit later. But I figured I would give you guys my first impressions, my first thoughts on this new iPhone form factor. I have a lot to say about the hardware. iOS 8 is also now on this guy, but I'm not going to do an unboxing. I'm pretty sure you've already seen what's in the box of the new iPhone, so let's just get straight into my thoughts on it. So if Apple was going for the world's most minimal smartphone packaging, I think they've nailed it here, although they totally could have just run out of printer ink or something. But either way, the stuff you get inside the box is about the same as any other iPhone, so there's that. In fact, the one thing that I actually did notice about the packaging was the special cutout for the iPhone's new protruding camera, but we'll get to that in a second. So this is the iPhone 6, and it's probably going to look very familiar, from the 4.7-inch screen size to the design to the thinness and the button placement. And if you guys remember the video I did on this silver iPhone 6 dummy earlier this year, this new phone actually matches that dummy in a lot of ways, almost to a T, with the ports, the camera, the flash, and everything. Even the paint on the back around the antenna, which I didn't exactly think was legit, is exactly the same here. And this looks a little different on the different colored iPhones. I think it looks much more subtle on the space gray, but this happens to be the gold one, so the paint lines stick out a bit more. I hope to get another subdued look on a different color iPhone very soon. But my immediate impressions with feel in the hand is this phone, first of all, it's strikingly light, like really, really light, much lighter, and of course thinner than the iPhone 5S. It's actually only 129 grams, which is crazy light in the smartphone scale of things. And another crazy measurement is it's freaking thin. It's 6.9 millimeters thin. Now, here's the thing about the iPhone 6's thinness. All of this comes with the trade-off of, number one, a small battery again, and number two, the protruding camera lens out the back. It might not seem like a big deal at first, but you'll hear a lot of other people talking about this. Sticking out the back means the phone won't sit flat on a table anymore. It means the lens will be the first thing to scratch since it's sticking out the back. It's protruded, it's unprotected, and it's just unsightly. It doesn't look as good. I don't think I can possibly be the only one who would rather just have a slightly thicker iPhone 6 so that the camera doesn't stick out and the battery is bigger. But, you know, maybe iPhone 6S. Either way, the thing about this phone is the rounded edges remind me a lot of the HTC One M8 in that in adding all metal and rounding it around here, it makes it a lot slipperier compared to the predecessor. So basically the iPhone 5S, you had that flat edge that you could hold on to and manipulate the phone in your hand however you want. It was a lot easier. But with the iPhone 6 being rounded off, I feel like it's a lot easier to slip or fall or drop without a case. And it's funny because someone has actually already dropped their iPhone on day one. But that's another story. On the front of the iPhone 6 is the main story, which a lot of people are talking about. It's the big feature. It's a brand new 4.7-inch display. It's not the 5.5-inch of the iPhone 6 Plus, but it's a modest improvement here over the 5S. And it has this odd resolution. Apple calls it Retina HD, but that doesn't really matter. It's 1334 by 750. So in reality, just a little bit above 720p. So it's the same pixel density as the iPhone 5S, and it is a pretty nice looking display. It's very, very bright outdoors. It can get very, very dim indoors. It's basically what we'd come to expect from Apple and their integration. It's great viewing angles, great color reproduction. From what I can see, it's a great Apple display. Of course, the bezels around the display are a little bit bigger than some other phones like the Moto X, for example, that also have a 4.7-inch display, since Apple needs room for the home button and a matching forehead for the chin, so it's up to them to decide when they want to slim down the bezels. But right now, it's definitely a nice size bump compared to other 4.7-inch screen phones. So iOS 8 seems to do just fine with this new resolution. In fact, I think iOS 8 is the first version of iOS to not stutter when I pull down into Spotlight search. That might be a minor thing for most people, but that always stuttered before iOS 8. So I was pretty happy about that on the iPhone 5S, and I'm pretty happy about that on the iPhone 6. No, but it's definitely going to be fun to play around with iOS 8 a bit more. Obviously, a bunch of other phones have this now on other iPhones, but I actually made a video a while back about my thoughts on iOS 8's new features. So I'll drop a link below if you want to watch that video. It's very smooth here, it performs well. It's really well optimized for Apple's newest hardware, as we would expect. But only time will tell using this phone for a bit more whether quirks will show up, or bugs need to be fixed, or ironed out, or squashed. But in the meantime, it's iOS. I mean, you'll notice it's visually not that different from iOS 7, so let's be honest, if you're coming from any other iPhone, you're going to feel right at home here, and it's just another iPhone with a bigger screen. So overall, that's about it for now. I gotta say, between the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus, the 6 with the 4.7-inch screen is, I think, the one that most current iPhone users are going to upgrade to. When you hold the 6 Plus, it's much bigger. But I still have a bunch of other things to test for when I get to my full review. So the battery life, that's something we don't really know yet. The camera quality, I'm going to be testing a lot. And be sure to follow on Twitter and Instagram and Google+, where I'll be posting photos from the apparently very good iPhone 6 camera. So definitely follow for that. If you want to also see battery life updates, I'll be posting those as I use this as my daily driver as well. So a bunch more to come before the full video review of the new iPhone. But this is just my impressions for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.